Hi everyone, my name is Daniel Grunberg, and today I'm going to show you how to operate the casing specific aspects of Cartofact. So let's begin. We're going to start with loading the wells for Alberta. It could be for BC, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan's well casing data is not so good. We also can check it for Oklahoma, but for today's example, we'll check out Alberta. And right away what we'll do is once we loaded the Alberta well layer, we're going to filter by license date. Now let's just go back for a second, and you can filter by any attribute here: depth, formation, licensee, operator, status, type, even PSAC area. But we'll just start with saying, okay, we're out of all the wells in Alberta, we're only interested in the wells that were licensed in the past year. So Cartofact is going to run the query and say, okay, 6,000 wells were licensed in the past year. Here they are. And now we're going to say, okay, we want to know more about these 6,000 wells. So we'll go and add a second filter. And specifically what we want to know is which wells are more likely to be a deeper well and more likely to be fracked as part of its development. So we're going to look at the PSAC areas. And we have this layer just to show you what we're going to be doing here. Is the wells that are on the western side of the province are typically deeper and get fracked versus the ones on the east side. So we're only interested in wells that are in northwestern Alberta and the foothills front next to the Rocky Mountains here. So we're going to go and type in PSAC here, and we're going to select those two areas. Foothills front, AB2, and you actually have the well count for each area, so that's also indicative of the activity in each region. And AB7, northwestern Alberta, and we're going to process that. I'll take off this PSAC map here, and we'll toggle the colors. And what's going to happen is we're going to get an updated map with only wells that have been licensed in the past year that are in these two regions. Now what you might like to do is export the bulk data into a spreadsheet. And how you do that is, so out of these 2,200 wells, we want all the data of the casing data. So we're going to export the bulk data. And in this selector, you get to choose the columns that you're interested in your export. For this purpose, I'm interested in UWI licensee, and then I'm going to add the casing specific attributes in the casing folder. So we'll add those and we'll download now. Cartofact's going to produce an export, and I'll show it to you. There we go. So this is the export, and we have, this is, let's see, this is one well right here. So here's the surface, intermediate, liner, casing, and the parameters of that casing. So we'll move that out of there. Go back to Cartofact. And there may be different things that you may be interested in to look at this further, this data further. So let's say now we're interested in the companies that are licensing these deeper wells that are most likely going to get fracked in the past year. This drop down is going to give you the company name and how many wells they've licensed. And this is an exhaustive list, and you can export this list just by clicking download list, or you can access a chart here and get some statistics and analysis on that data. So we want to update the map by company. So we're going to say, okay, Cartofact, each company make it a different color on the map, and Cartofact will produce that, and you have the well count by company, and you'll get this map here. Now you may want to print the map out, so you can make the point size a little bit bigger, and then click on the map print button and access the settings so that you can make the map exactly the way you like it. You'll get a PDF, you can send that in an email, you can print it out, whatever you like to do with that. So that's an option. You may be interested in, okay, so Peyto is a customer of ours, or we're looking at Peyto wells for some business development purpose, and so we're interested in the casings that's related to these 118 wells. So we're just going to delete all these values, and we're going to add Peyto, We're going to process it. And now we're going to, at this point, you can go back to the export data. You can add UWI, licensee, same export. Go to the casing data, add these, and you'll get the data that's specific to that company. This is one way to operate Cartofact, going at it this way, but there's also the ability to query based on casing parameters. So I'll show you how that works. So we'll start a new query. License date, we'll start with the wells that were licensed in the past year. Let's go, actually for this one we'll go 18 months. And now we're going to query the casing table, and the way you access it, it's at the bottom of the, it's a table, database table in its own. So these are foreign tables, and these are the other ones that you can query. So you can go to the bottom of the list, or you can just type in casing, and if you use it often, you can add it to your favorites, and it'll appear here, and you can put it at the top if you'd like. Organize these, just drag and drop. So we're just gonna go to this, and now these are the attributes that you can ask Cartofact to query by. So we'll start with grade, and we're interested in wells that have a grade of P110, and Cartofact is saying there's 1,383 occurrences of this, and we're interested in the outside diameter to be 114.3 millimeters. So we'll go 113 to 115, and we'll process that. And now we're going to get an updated map with 900 wells that have this type of casing, and we can now ask Cartofact to tell us which companies are using this type of casing. So you add the an extra slot, and it's the we're going to filter by the licensee. This list in itself could be very valuable to you. You can export the list here. I'll just do that and show you what that looks like. It's an exhaustive list here. So top companies, this is the well count, and you get the exhaustive list here. So that could be useful for you. No, we don't want to save that. Okay. And you could also want to visualize it on the map. So again, you can do the top 10 here, or if you have a specific company that you're interested in, but we'll just add the top 10, and we'll get a distribution of the data on the map. And as always, you can click on any well that you want and access that specific data, the casing data, based on your parameter. So you open the details panel, and you go to casing, and here you have P110 114 millimeter. You can get the history of the well. It's March, about 16 months old, and get the production data. So it was brought onto production in February, and so you can always access the data of each individual well by clicking on it and going to the details panel. Those are the functions of the system. You can look at, instead of PSAC area that we did, you can also do by formation, depth. You can look at the data in any way that you'd like. And so thank you very much for your time, and have a great day. Bye.